Arizona just knocked off the defending national champions with a freshman leading the team. And BYU? What was that? This is a basketball Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into an emergency basketball Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job, and TCU basketball doesn't exist. We don't have to go there and talk about that loss to New Orleans. Instead, we can talk about the Big 12 winning on the national stage. Now, look, I will start with the game that just ended at the time of recording this, BYU and Villanova. This game kind of sucked a little bit. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I really wasn't impressed with BYU's second half performance, and I thought that the Cougars need to gel a lot more than I really expected. I have BYU finishing second in the Big 12 behind Houston. I wasn't all that impressed with Houston's offense this evening. I thought altogether, if you watched each of these games, Iowa State was right there as kind of, wow, I'm blown away. Like my expectations were high, but 88-50, their final. They did what they were supposed to do against a lesser opponent. And then obviously Arizona going toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in college basketball, Florida, and then beating them in the end. Succumbing in the first half to a large Florida lead, and then rallying back to take their own lead, and then losing the lead again, and finally winning the game. I thought Arizona was very impressive. And Kansas is Kansas. As for BYU, can I say something? I thought Dybantsa was the best player on the floor for BYU tonight, and that's probably not, like, if he ends up being a wildly improved player, that is just the icing on the cake, because I thought he was the catalyst for BYU last year during March Madness. I said that a bunch. Kind of the X factor was Kada, and BYU goes as he goes in games they want to win against better opponents or opponents that are on paper supposed to be better. In this game, where Rob Wright was really good to start, then I feel like I didn't see a lot of him in the second half. Or Richie Saunders was, with injury or sickness or illness, whatever it was. I was looking for Dybantsa to be a world beater, and Dybantsa was that instead. From dunks to rebounds to blocks, he was just the dude for BYU tonight. And it's so wild to say. I think this is a new era of BYU basketball where this is going to be an insane statement out of my mouth, but you're going to go, maybe. I thought Dybantsa wasn't as good as we were promised. Now, it's not a bad thing. It's not an indictment altogether. It's not like, okay, Dybantsa's year is done and he's never going to be, he's not going to make it. He's not near as big or good or any of that as we expect. No. Dybantsa is elite and still probably the number one pick, maybe number two, maybe number three. Just going from Peat for Arizona into Dybantsa, I thought, okay, there's still something. 9 for 18 field. Like, there are metrics here. 9 for 18 field goals. That wasn't great. Felt like he forced a couple shots. 2 for 7 from the free throw line is bad, like really, really bad. And still, he led the team with 21 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. Like, even on a night where I didn't think Dybantsa ever got into a groove, he was really good, and BYU won the game. Now, let's be fair as well. I don't think Villanova is a great opponent based on what they've done the last couple of seasons, based on what I saw tonight. They missed a couple three-pointers that I thought, wow, that's one of the worst missed shots that I've seen in a long time in college basketball. Looking at the team stats, they shot 36%. BYU defensively, very good. The Cougars themselves shot less than 40%. Villanova held to 28.6% from three-point land. They were just jacking them up. They didn't look good. They were bad at free throws. Villanova bad at free throws. But to be out-rebounded by a smaller team, 49-43, with Dybantsa out there, with Dybantsa on the floor, he didn't turn the ball over. That was the biggest difference here. Points in the paint, 40-24. It just proves BYU's the bigger team, yet still you got out-rebounded. That's weird, man. You only turned the ball over 4 times. That's efficient. I just don't think Villanova's that good. And BYU didn't quite meet the expectation that I wanted tonight. They didn't cover the 9 points. I expected them fully to do that. I lost some money. And in all, I think BYU has the pieces to be a Big 12 championship caliber team, a Final Four caliber team, but I did not see that on the floor tonight. I'm giving you my objective thoughts on the game that I watched, and maybe we'll see BYU develop. Surely we'll see BYU develop. Tonight wasn't the peak. I mean, it's first game, so probably shouldn't be, of what we'll get from the Cougars this year. The other game I really wanted to highlight, and again, Houston, I could have been more impressed. They allowed 57. I thought they'd allow more the 45 range. Scoring 75 was good. I just wasn't blown away with what they did against Lehigh, a very bad opponent. Iowa State, Fairleigh Dickinson, nails. Kansas against Green Bay, nails. Cincinnati also looked really good. They should probably be in that category of teams that I was pretty impressed by. Cincy had a great game against Western Carolina. But this Arizona game, Peat, he is right now the Big 12 Conference Player of the Year. We are one game in, no doubt. But to see a player like Huck or Condon or Lee go out there, those are names you kind of know in college basketball this year that you've been warned. Boogie Flan, the Arkansas guy who went to Florida, to see those guys go out there and be just pale in comparison, be just downtrodden, Condon especially, by a guy like Peat, by the Arizona Wildcats, who returned a couple of starters and added multiple top 10 freshmen in this class. I was blown away. You had to be blown away. Peat, 30 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. And only one personal foul. He only had 1 foul the entire night. That is impressive stuff from a kid. I mean, he was 11 for 18 tonight, 61%. This is kind of 8 for 12 from the free throw line. Kind of what I expected, which isn't great, but kind of what I expected AJ Dybantsa to be at. Instead, we got that from Peat. He now takes over one game in the Big 12 Freshman of the Year number 1 spot. Like, if we're just going to go game by game, as we probably should at this point, like, that's Peat's award to now give away later in the year. He was incredible against not Villanova, no, but the number 3 team in the country, the Florida Gators. Arizona, wildly impressive. Tommy Lloyd, a great head coach. It could be Arizona. It should be Arizona, BYU, and Houston at the end of the year, top 3 in the Big 12 and contending for a Big 12 championship. I wouldn't be shocked at all if those are the schools that we see. At least I believe that is what we will get out of this conference. Not downtrodden necessarily by BYU, but I thought they should have been better. I am incredibly impressed with Arizona and what they did tonight. And overall, it's okay. Now, Arizona has the driver's seat after that win in this conference until Kansas or BYU or Cincinnati prove otherwise, or Iowa State prove otherwise. But again, we've learned outside of TCU, they don't exist. We don't know who they are. Don't even know you. We have learned that the Big 12 is elite at college basketball, and I love that. I love the round orange ball. I'm 6'4", like 215, 210. You know, I played a little back in there. I was the free throw champion of our off season in 9th grade, so I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two in basketball. And this is the sport that I love. It's basketball season again. Lost some money tonight on BYU, but this has been, it always will be, Locked On. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. Thanks for making this show your first listen every single day. Dose grande. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is exactly where I go during the college basketball season. It's back. I love the round orange ball. It makes me very happy, and it's here. And with the NBA back as well, there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets. Everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks keeps the game exciting, especially when your team is making a late push. Right now, FanDuel is giving customers $300 in bonus bets. New customers, $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet hits. Head to FanDuel.com to sign up. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.